Hello, my name is Mordred Viking, and I just want to give you this quick announcement about stuff that's going to be happening. Basically, we're going to be doing another Europa Universalis 4 multiplayer, which is going to be open to the community, so if you wish to join in and play a bit of Dharma, then you are more than welcome to do so. You don't need the DLC yourself, that is all provided by the host. All you need to do is show up at the right times and adhere to a couple of rules, which we'll go over in just a moment. This is going to be kicking off on Sunday, the 16th of September. It's going to be starting at 3 o'clock PM British Summer Time until about 6 o'clock PM British Summer Time. So that's 1500 till 1600. If you want to join in, you will need to join the Discord, which you can find linked below. If you announce who you want to play as here in the comments, that will not count. I need you to do it in Discord so I can keep tabs on everything that's going on. Plus, Discord is going to be where we're hosting the communications as well. We're going to be using voice chat, and that's all done through Discord. It's a very simple process. It's free. Just sign up there and everything will work. Hopefully, probably, maybe. So yes, what are the rules? The most important one, which I'm going to kind of skip down a little bit, so we're going in India. I can't actually do it on the camera. We're going to start with the India Thunderdome specific rules. The most important one is you have to play as a nation in India. That is, if the nation has the Indian tech group, then that's fine. We are only playing in India. There will be other things which happen later on. I'll talk about that in a minute. So, general rules. Players will have a 1 week immunity if they are not present, and during that week you cannot take territories from that nation in an offensive war. Defensive wars are fine if they declare war on you, but if they're not present for a second week in a row, then they are completely fair game. You can go after them, you can do whatever you like. If you are allied to a protective nation, you cannot call them into offensive wars. We had a couple of issues in the previous game where people were allied to very, very strong player nations and then just use them like a sledgehammer. We don't want that, because they may actually say no in those wars. In fact, they probably would have because of different alliances and things like that. So, yeah, that's that. And then thirdly, we had a couple of issues around unconditional surrender. If a nation unconditionally surrenders, then the game will be paused for 1 minute to allow all the different players to work out a peace deal. Then after that minute, it will be unpaused, and you will be at the mercy of the ticking war score from the call to peace. That is because unconditional surrenders are supposed to force you into making a peace deal quickly, and just pausing it and waiting for that to happen doesn't do that. So unconditional surrenders will not be paused because they are there to force a conclusion. Okay, so those are like the generic rules that we usually play as as a community. The ones specific to this game, as I mentioned, you must play a nation in the Indian tech group. There are already a couple of nations. It's first come, first serve, with the patrons getting first dibs. If you want to kind of skip the queue a little bit, you can do so. Go over to Patreon and sign up as a Huskal tier or higher, and then I'll basically give you priority, as long as the other person isn't a Huskal as well. One special rule that we are using here is you may not spend development to get an institution. I'm trying to get this game to be as historical as possible, so India is going to be technologically backward, probably, compared to Europe when the Europeans arrive. This is for a couple of purposes. Firstly, I think it's horribly unrealistic when suddenly the Renaissance spawns in a random cotton province just because someone is spamming that development like crazy. And secondly, it also gives more of a reason to accept trade charters from the Europeans when they do arrive, because they will have the technology, they will be a bordering friendly province, and then you can do you get the institution spread from that point, and that can be a real advantage if you play that correctly. There is not, however, going to be any restrictions on the use of spread knowledge diplomatic action, nor is there going to be any limit on trying to spawn institutions. So later on, if for example you're trying to get global trade, absolutely, go for it. Build all those marketplaces. Try and concentrate as much trade into India as possible, and you might get global trade. That's fine. I feel like that's legit because you've worked on it rather than just spanning some archaic system to get development in one province and suddenly you have a metropolis in the desert just because it was cheapest there. I just don't like that system. You may only become a tributary if you share a mutual border with the nation you are trying to become a tributee to. So, for example, if you want the protection of Ming, you're going to have to border Ming, which comes with its own downsides. You may not ally with Ming. You can become the tributary, see above rule, but you cannot ally with them. If you are defeated, now this is where the game kind of takes an interesting twist. Everyone is in India. It's going to be crowded. It's going to be dangerous. It's going to be deadly. I am fully expecting people to die and get knocked out. That's fine. That's intentional. Because if you get defeated, that is not the end of your game. Oh no! You then get moved into Europe. There's going to be hot join on, which will allow you to just switch pretty much seamlessly. When you are in Europe, you must take either Portugal, the Netherlands or any Dutch minor, Britain or England or Scotland, Denmark or France. The intention being that you can take one of those nations and send them into India to get your revenge on those who remain behind. And then we can start getting this European-India conflict going on, which I think would be kind of cool. Once those 5 nations are selected, you can select any nation anywhere in the world which has exploration or expansion ideas. Except Ming. We're not going to play as Ming. And then finally, if you are a non-Indian player, i.e. if you've been defeated and moved out of India, then you must be rivals with at least 2 other non-Indian players if possible. This is just to stop collusion, so we were not going to have Great Britain and France allying together to crush India, probably because those 2 are going to be rivals and will have their own spheres of influence, and will probably want to get their own chunks out of India. The Indians, however, are entirely allowed to band up against you. Distance is going to be the thing there. And also, don't forget, the Indians will probably be at a tech disadvantage, so they need to have some ways of balancing that out, and that's going to be diplomacy. There might be more rules added later on. This is just the draft as kind of we're preparing this session, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I really do hope that a bunch of you join. We've already got like 5 or 6 people signed up from the Discord already. I would heartily recommend that you go to Discord and just check it out every now and then, because stuff like this tends to get announced there first of all, just because it's easier, just like type, done. But I'm announcing it here for YouTube because I want you guys to join as well. This will be streamed, but probably won't be posted on YouTube. I've already got way too many series live at the moment. So I'm going to stream it, and that's going to be on twitch.tv/MordredViking. So if you want to have the opportunity of playing with me and with the rest of the community, and also seeing your actions live for everyone else to see, then come join us on September the 16th. At 3 PM British Summer Time. But make sure you sign up beforehand so we know exactly who is playing as what, and so that there are no upset people because they didn't get the nation they really wanted. So, yes, see you then. Thanks, everyone.